Daily Devotion with Pastor Balla for August 24th, 2020 from 1 Kings chapter 6. The temple is finished. Let's begin with verse 11. Now the word of the Lord came to Solomon. Concerning this house that you are building, if you walk in my statutes and obey my rules and keep my commandments and walk in them, then I will establish my word with you, which I spoke to David your father, and I will dwell among the children of Israel, and I will not forsake my people Israel. Notice the conditional language. If you obey and keep all my commandments and walk in them, God will not forsake his people. The opposite is also true. It's implied, if you abandon God, God will abandon you. It's interesting, this condition is given to Solomon as he's building the temple. This promise of God is not given to Solomon when he's building his own house or houses for his wives. The temple is special. It's part of that beautiful relationship between God and his faithful people. Verse 14. So Solomon built the house and finished it. Many of the temple details are given here, but to summarize, consider the richest man the world has ever seen was not frugal when he built the temple. Verse 51 of chapter 7. Thus all the work that Solomon did on the house of the Lord was finished. And Solomon brought in the things that David his father had dedicated, the silver, the gold, the vessels, and stored them in the treasuries of the house of the Lord. But the temple is just a building unless there is one important part. Chapter 8, verse 1. Then Solomon assembled the elders of Israel and all the heads of the tribe, the leaders of the fathers' houses of the people of Israel, before King Solomon in Jerusalem, to bring up the ark of the covenant of the Lord out of the city of David, which is in Zion. And all the men of Israel assembled to King Solomon at the feast in the month of Ethanim, which is the 7th month. And all the elders of Israel came, and the priests took up the ark, and they brought up the ark of the Lord, the tent of meeting, and all the holy vessels that were in the tent. The priests and the Levites brought them up. As the psalmist notes in Psalm 127, verse 1, unless the Lord builds the house, those who build it labor in vain. Unless the Lord watches over the city, the watchman stays awake in vain. Simply, if God is not present, then it's just a building, or you could say a museum. But if God is present, there is grace and forgiveness. But would God choose to dwell in this temple built by Solomon? After they placed the Ark of the Covenant in the holy place, this is what happened. Verse 10. And when the priests came out of the holy place, a cloud filled the house of the Lord, so that the priests could not stand to minister because of the cloud. For the glory of the Lord filled the house of the Lord. The answer? Yes. God chose to dwell in this temple. This is a temple, for God is truly present. Join me again tomorrow as we hear that God blesses his people. God's peace and many blessings be with you. Thank you for watching, and please take an opportunity to share this video with others. If you have enjoyed these daily devotions, please consider making a donation to Peace Lutheran Church, 24024 West Main Street, Plainfield, Illinois, 60544. Thank you again for watching.